Why get one Greek player when you can have two? Alexandros Samodurov is a Tar Heel.
This is Tyler Hansbrough, and you're listening to Locked On Tar Heels.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, what's up? Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast. I'm your host, Isaac Shade. You're joining me here for an emergency breaking edition of the podcast on Saturday, May 30th, just shy of 5 p.m. Eastern time. The Diamond Heels are about to play game 2 of their regional against ECU, who knocked off Tennessee in 14 innings yesterday. And so we'll talk about that later on as well. Forgive me for a weird, different background. Forgive me for just going live. I am in Kansas City, Kansas, at Wolf Creek Lodge right now with my family. We're hanging out, we're swimming, we're playing putt-putt. But man, so trying to be all together on that. But when news of this nature breaks, we got to be live. So I want to thank all of you for being here with me. And it's time to get in and talk about Samo committing. So we'll look at what this means for the roster, what it means for the front court. Is Carolina done recruiting now? All sorts of stuff like that coming up. Let's get right into it. So we've been talking about Alexandros Samodurov for a while now. He's Greek. He's 21 years old. He's 6'11". He's slender. He can do a little bit of everything. Step out, do it inside. Both ends of the court. Really, really encouraged by what he can bring to the table. And it's nice because with Sayon Keita, his skill set, man, is through the roof with potential. But he's young and he's raw and currently unrefined. And so it's nice to have somebody with a little more age, a little more experience, and a little more stretch five capability to give Carolina some flexibility. And so I'm really encouraged by that. Now, this, you might be watching this, listening to it, and like, Isaac, hang on here. I thought he had already committed a couple of weeks ago. What's going on there? Well, there were weird, like social media posts about it from unofficial sources, although there was a very reputable Greek source that reported it. And Samodurov himself liked those posts, but it never came out from Carolina. It never came out from inside Carolina or Tar Heel 247, all of whom are, in my opinion, the most trusted Carolina. Obviously, Carolina itself is very trusted, but those other two are the most trusted Carolina sites in terms of breaking this news, right? Like, that's not what I do. I'm not a news breaker. I'm a what's the take on it kind of person. Every now and again, I'll have stuff, but now that it is officially coming out from multiple reputable sources, it's time to go ahead and say, yes, this is happening. Samodurov is going to be a Tar Heel. A couple things that I love with this. Number one, Carolina now has on their roster 2 pairs of former teammates. Already, Matt Abel and Kevin Thomas had previously played together in high school just 1 year. And then Samodurov and Neo Avdalas, who is also Greek, played together before as well. And so in this day and age where it's so difficult to find team chemistry, to be able to build that up and to get a team in sync, to be able to have guys that have played together before is a massive win. And so I'm really encouraged by that. As we sit here now and start to look, and I'm going to go ahead and bring up the roster makeup as it sits right now. For those of you who are watching, a lot are going to be asking the question, all right, Isaac, so what does this mean for the front court? Because the big question is, who will be the starting center? Well, for my money's worth, this is now the biggest positional battle in terms of starting role that Carolina is going to have. Because I truly, firmly believe the backcourt is essentially set with a starting threesome of Terrence Brown, Matt Abel, and Neo Avdalas. Obviously, everyone's going to have a chance to compete for that, whether it's Isaiah Dennis or Jaden Young or any of those guys. But I feel like those 3 incoming players are the ones that are going to win out. I believe Jaren Stevenson should start at the 4. That's the nice thing. Samodurov can play both 4 and 5, depending on what sort of lineup you're going with. And so as you look at how this is going to go, again, I think 1, 2, 3, Brown, Abel, Avdalas, Stevenson at the 4, and then I think you've got this really intriguing battle for the starting 5 role between Samodurov and Sayon Keita. What's interesting to me is I think if Samodurov isn't on this roster, Keita is probably obviously your starting 5, with all due respect to Cade Bennerman and all of that. But I think what this allows you to do is you've got a very nice 3-headed monster of Stevenson, Keita, and Samodurov, and just let them have it out over the summer at practice this fall and see what's going to be the best combination of those 3 guys, and that'll be your starting lineup. If I had to guess today, I would say that at least initially, the basketball experience of Samodurov is going to win out over Keita. That said, I do think Keita has the higher ceiling, the higher upside right now, and whatever. And ultimately, it's not going to matter because there are 40 minutes at the 5 over the course of a basketball game. I wouldn't be shocked if it's pretty even and they're both playing about 20, and that's what you're looking for. It's still not the beef. Samodurov does not bring, like, he's another 215 and between 200 and 215 pounds, could beef up. But that's what he's bringing. Again, the size. Carolina is going to be huge. This team is going to be massive from a height standpoint, but they will be slender, right? If it is that you've got Samodurov at 6'11" or Keita at 6'11", either of those guys, Jaren Stevenson at 6'10", Neo at the 3 at 6'9", Matt Abel 6'6", although that's what he was listed at state last year, measured 6'3" or 4 at the combine, and then Terrence Brown 6'3". But you've got size everywhere. And with the addition of Samodurov, now you feel like, all right, we got those 2 guys at the 5. You've got Jaren at the 4, along with Maximo Adams at the 4, who can play the 3 or the 4 behind it. So you're getting legit 2-player depth at most of these positions now and helping you feel really comfortable with where things are at. And I'm really encouraged by that. So with Samodurov, we'll have to wait and see the timeline and all that. When's he going to come? So we'll get to all that here in just a second. He has officially pulled out of the NBA draft. That's good news. And part of him being able to go ahead and commit fully to Carolina. I believe it was back on Thursday, so May 28th when he pulled out. As a reminder, we talked about this on the show on Friday. Because he's international, his deadline was not Wednesday like everyone else's. His deadline's actually not till June 13th to pull out of the draft. But he's gone ahead and done that. He's going to come to Carolina, and man, it ups the Tar Heels. And so where I want to get to next is looking at what is the shape of the roster now in totality. Where will Samodurov be classified? And where does this put Carolina in terms of rankings nationally? Is this a top 25 team, top 15, top 10? We'll look at that. We'll think about it all coming up here in just a second. Right after I tell you about Rugiet. The NHL playoffs are here, and that's where every shift matters, every moment's intense, and the pressure is at its highest. Just like performance matters on the ice, it matters off it too. And that's where Rugiet comes in. They offer treatments designed to help you get ready and stay ready for when it matters most. Their top option is called Rugiet Ready, funny enough, combining clinically proven ingredients in a simple mint that dissolves under your tongue. It works fast, often in about 15 minutes, and can last up to 36 hours. Another product they offer is called Go Long, designed to help with both performance and control. It's all about confidence and feeling like yourself all over again. So head to Rugiet.com/LockedOnNHL and get 15% off your treatment right now. Again, that's Rugiet, RUGIET.com/LockedOnNHL for 15% off. Rugiet, performance medicine for men. All right, great to be with you. Isaac Shade coming to you from Kansas City, Kansas at Great Wolf Lodge, hanging out with my family. We came up for the Savannah Bananas game. They're playing at Kauffman Stadium on Sunday, so we're going to that. And we're like, let's make a weekend of it. My son's sitting right over here beside me on the bed playing the game. My wife and daughter are off doing one of the little excursions they have here, so it's a lot of fun. Okay, For those of you looking at the roster makeup, you can see that I have added Samodurov to Carolina's roster. If you're listening back to this, what's up to you? You're not missing it. You can go find this roster makeup chart either in the Locked On Tar Heels Discord. I always post it there, or on my Twitter feed. I've posted it there as well. Also, it is 5 p.m. on the dot right now. So if you're not tuned into ACC Network, you need to go there right now. The baseball game is just about to start. So, as you can see on the chart right now, I've classified Samodurov as a freshman. Now, let me remind you, last year, Luka Bogovac was classified as a junior for the Tar Heels because of his experience, because of his age, because of like the years played already. And so we don't have that. Like I was told last year from some of my sources, that was the staff's expectation, is that he would be classified as a junior. So as soon as I added him to the roster makeup chart last year, I went ahead and added him as a junior. Right now, I've classified Samo as a freshman. I'm going to keep him there until we learn more. But I will say, because of his age being 21, because of his basketball experience and what he's doing, I wouldn't be shocked if he too comes in as a junior for Carolina, having like, hey, you've played 2 years, you've got your junior year left. However, also keep in mind, with the probability of this new 5-and-5 rule coming into play, he would likely have 3 years of eligibility at that point. And so we're just going to have to wait and see with all of that. Of course, all of this might be a moot point. Why? He's been in the draft. I wouldn't be shocked if he plays a year, maybe 2, and then is off to the NBA draft, depending on how his ability goes. And so we'll see what happens there. But that's my expectation. Again, I have him listed as a freshman right now, but we will change and adjust that as we get more guidance, either from sources or from the Carolina staff or from the NCAA about how he's going to be classified. But I'll also remind you, Testa Ritter at Virginia came in last year, over 20 years old, and was classified as a freshman. So we're just going to have to wait and see with that. So as you look at things right now, of the 15 roster spots, I've got listed just 1 left. However, there could be 2 left maybe. And the reason is because of that whole concept of designated student athletes, where there was a whole thing last year with the House settlement where some players were not counted against the 15 roster makeup. So last year, Carolina technically had 16 players on their roster, in one of which was John Holbrook, who was one of those DSAs. Right now, we're operating under the assumption that he will be one. Again, this year, Evan Smith has already said that he's back on the team. We haven't heard that definitively on Holbrook. So I'm operating under the assumption that Carolina could add 1 more player, maybe 2. But if the question becomes, is Carolina done? Maybe, maybe not. I think they're done, I'll say it this way, with impact players that are going to play a role in terms of role and being part of the rotation. Because as I look down through it, Terrence Brown, Jaren Stevenson, Jaden Young, definitely off the bench. He's probably 8, 9, 10 on the depth chart, but that's 3. Matt Abel, Neo Avdalas, Isaiah Dennis. I think he plays a much bigger role this year, probably 6th or 7th on the depth chart. Maximo Adams, I think he's part of that depth as well, but I think he's going to be a contributor. That's 7. Cade Bennerman is probably 10th-ish, in my opinion, on the depth chart right now. Sayon Keita, Samodurov, and then maybe Kevin Thomas as well. So you've got multiple players, up to 10, maybe 11, that we've got listed here that I think are truly going to contend for legitimate playing time this year. The guys that I would anticipate not of the 14 I've got listed are Evan Smith, John Holbrook, and Malloy Smith. Those other 11, we'll see what happens. I would expect Bennerman toward the back of that pack, and probably Jaden Young as well. And so the 8 or 9 above that are the ones that I think will be the ones that compete, for the more legit playing time. So I wouldn't be shocked. What I'm curious to see is if Carolina does try to add 1 more to fill out that roster. Again, what I'm still holding out for and hoping for is like a backup point guard, Would love to see that. Somebody that can get you into sets, can do things, can get everybody moving and into place as they need to be. And so that's what we're waiting and watching for. So again, Alexandros Samodurov, modern big, slight build, but he can step out and hit it. He can put the ball on the ground and attack. Go watch some of his film. Good. He's good to good on defense and the things you can need there. I want to say a tweet from Fran Fraschilla from a while ago. Interesting name to monitor. Alexandros Samodurov, modern day big who can play both the 4 and 5. Mobile and skilled with stretch ability, still developing physically, but the talent pops. Played key rotation minutes for Greece at Eurobasket last summer, where he was paired with front court alongside Giannis Antetokounmpo, helping Greece earn a third-place finish, possibly linked to UNC, blah, 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 blah. And so really, really good stuff there. Encouraged to have Samodurov. All right, I want to take one more break and then just kind of reset the stage on some comments. Got a birthday wish somebody asked for, and then we'll look at where things are at with the baseball regional, because I don't know that I'll be able to go live. I'll probably do a short later tonight after the game to update where things all there. All coming up here in just a second. All right, I got to give a shout out to our guy, Devin. Devin says, good afternoon, my fellow Heels faithful. Hey, Isaac, can I get a shout out? Today's my birthday from your boy from the West Coast, Denver, Colorado. Hashtag in Malone, I trust. Hashtag, it's always a great day to be a Tar Heel. Devin, we're going to have you get us out of here at the end. Devin, our guy, is 35 years old. Devin, happy birthday. Hope it's a great one. Make sure your family and friends take care of you very well. Elijah asks, do we still need a backup at the guard spots? In my opinion, yes. I would always love to have more shooting. It does not seem like that's going to be the priority. And part of that is guys that Matt Abel projects to take an even bigger leap. He was 35.5% last year, 37% in ACC play, better talent around him. Maximo Adams, we'll see what he can come in, but do as a freshman, he's got a nice reputation. And I wouldn't be shocked to see both Avdalas and Terrence Brown take jumps there as well. Obviously, Samo can knock some down. Jaren can knock some down. So we will see. I like this from Brian Kiefer. Centers on centers on centers. Look, the goal in this day and age, I've compared it often to the way I build a fantasy football roster. What you want to do is not get 2 or 3 defenses and 2 or 3 kickers. You get the guys that you feel real sure about, and then you take shots at the back end to just see who might hit. And so I love, as Brian is saying here, Carolina's loading up with personnel in the front court, and then you just start guessing, checking, and seeing where the pieces fit. And Samo might come over and just be an absolute dude. Keita might come over and be a dude. I think we're probably underrating, at least I am, what Cade Bennerman might be able to do this year as he steps into more potential and more opportunity. And so it's a very good thing. Elizabeth says, how's the vacay, Isaac? It's great. Having a great time with my family. We've been swimming. We've been playing putt-putt, arcade. Again, I said we're going to the Bananas game tomorrow. That's going to be a blast. More to come today. Ace says, Isaac rocking the Brave shirt on UNC game day again. Yeah, I had a Carolina shirt on earlier. I am wearing a Carolina hat. I love this one. My wife got it for me. Can't remember if it was Christmas or my birthday, but a lot of fun there. Anything else to get to right now? Oh, we got another birthday. Oscar Needham birthday too. Post-grad student, 27 on Monday. Happy birthday, Oscar. Great way to get things going there. Shaquan says, great way to start my summer break. That is so true. And now we're kind of moving into the offseason where it's kind of probably going to start winding down. But now the roster is really taking shape and we know how things are going to look. And that's great news in that regard. Okay, now the last thing I said I wanted to get to, and I haven't yet, is rankings. I think people, just like last offseason where everyone was glowing up NC State and Will Wade and all that they accumulated and overlooking Carolina, let them do that again. I think this is clearly and obviously a top 25 team. The question is, how top 25? Like, are we talking top 20, 15, 10? Knowing what I know about other rosters around the country, knowing that I think the ceiling is there for Carolina, but so many of these guys they have to prove it. They have to take steps forward. They got to show that they can do it in America with the international guys, where usually it takes a year or two. Matt Abel stepping up. I think he will, but he's got to do it. Terrence Brown, can he move from FDU to Utah and do it at the Carolina level? Neo, can he be more consistent, right? So there's a bunch of question marks. But if those pieces come together, I think where I would have this team realistically is 15 to 20 range right now. But I think it's got 10 to 15 upside. Does that make sense? That's where I would rank them if I had them today, and we'll start looking at that as well. All right, baseball stuff. Jake Pettit says, I haven't looked at the bracket. Where does UNC go if baseball wins? Great question. Let's kind of reset where all the baseball stuff is at. So yesterday on day one of the regional, it could not have gone better for Carolina because the regional started with the 2-seed Tennessee and 3-seed ECU playing 14 innings. Tennessee, the 2-seed, lost, which is great because then they go to the elimination game earlier on Saturday. ECU won, but they used their number 2 pitcher who started and Ethan Norby, their number 1 pitcher, who came in and threw about 50 pitches in that game. And so that's great. He's not burned for the weekend, but they did have to use him. And that means fewer bullets in his gun, which is great for Carolina facing ECU right now. I have no clue what's going on because I don't have the stat broadcast pulled up in front of me right now. I guess I should do that because I also don't have the game on. So I'll get that going. So Carolina then won, and Ryan Lynch, a masterful performance from him, 7 scoreless, 7 shutout innings of 2-hit baseball. And then Walker McDuffie comes in, only had to throw 13 pitches. That's great because he's one of your highest leverage bullpen arms. Behind him, because Carolina got a bunch of insurance runs in the 8th, Matty Mateus comes in, strikes out the side in the 9th, and only used 12 pitches. So truly, the only arm that's burned for Carolina is Ryan Lynch. Now we go to Saturday morning, elimination game between 4-seed VCU and 2-seed Tennessee. VCU wins that thing 5-4. So Tennessee is done and out of the regional. Carolina, East Carolina playing right now to stay in the winner's bracket. That winner moves on to Sunday at 5 p.m. And then the loser of this game, Carolina and East Carolina, plays Sunday at 12 in another elimination game against VCU. That loser, done. That winner goes on to play the winner of the Carolina ECU game at 5 tomorrow night. Let's say it's Carolina. Let's say Carolina wins tonight against East Carolina. Then if they win tomorrow night, they're moving on to super regionals. If they win this game but lose tomorrow night, you go to a winner-takes-all game on Monday, time to be announced. And so that's great news. Carolina is the visitor in this game because of the dumb way that regionals work. That means right now things are in the top of the first. Carolina has men on first and second, 1 out, making Winslow at bat. Luke Payne is pitching for East Carolina. Got to get into it, get his pitch count up, do what Carolina always does. And again, we will go, I don't know if I'll be able to go live later, but we'll certainly do some sort of show, and that will be really, really good. Or, some kind of short, if nothing else. All right, you guys, I want to thank you so much for being here with me on a Saturday afternoon heading into the supper time. Great to be together. Great to chat. So glad Samodurov is committed to Carolina. This is huge for the front court and kind of the completion of the main parts of Carolina's roster. We're going to get out of here the way we always do. If you haven't subscribed to Locked On Tar Heels down in the bottom on YouTube, you can go ahead and do that right now. Hit the bell notification so you get notified anytime we're going live. If you don't already get the audio versions of the show, please go do that. Subscribe on your favorite audio podcast and turn on automatic downloads and just let them all download. Even if you're not listening to them all, just the download numbers really, really help grow the show. Thank you. If you're not already part of the Locked On Tar Heels Discord, we'd love to see you there. We're talking about the baseball game right now. We're talking about Samodurov's commitment and all that. Join the Everydayer Club as well. That's where you get one-on-one messaging with me, ad-free versions of the show, and more. Let's get out of here the way we always do. Say it with me. It's always a great day to be a Tar Heel. We'll talk again soon, but until then, peace.